Hey everyone, and welcome back to the next part of Four Heroes of Light. In the last part, we beat the witch and we met the Crystal of Light, which informed us that we're the chosen heroes who have to save the world, because the one who's destined to save the world is currently powerless to do so, whatever that means. I don't know, maybe they died, or maybe they're just off brooding somewhere, who really knows. We also got the Crown of the Wayfarer, the first crown in the game out of many. But we'll get into that in just a second. Let's start talking to everyone and see what they have to say. Why did the witch take Lady Aerie? Who would agree to such a contract with such a person? If you want, you can make me the main character you control. Press the X button to open the menu, press the A button left or right to change characters. What good is a crown? Well, if you wear it, you'll be granted new abilities. Actually gonna do what Aerie said, put her in the lead real quick. A crown? Does this mean I'll become even more super powerful? Alright, so getting into the crowns. These are basically the game's job system. We have two of them right now, the Freelancer, keep all your gems when your party dies, and the Wayfarer, which makes recovery items work better. Every crown has its own passive ability. For right now, I want you can equip crowns or enhance them. Enhancing them allows you to gain a new ability, in this case being Escape, off to the left there. Escape battles, so you continue the adventure guaranteed. So it's a guaranteed escape option, but I don't want to waste any gems on that. I'm gonna go ahead and equip the Wayfarer on Brant. Go into our commands, and we get Runaway and Cure. Of course, we already had Cure. Remember, there was no runaway option before, but as long as you're wearing the Crown of the Wayfarer and you set that ability, you can now run away from battles. I don't want to equip this crown on anyone else yet, though. I'm gonna heal up before heading back into the caves. And now all we gotta do is walk on back to Horn. Not really much to talk about when doing that, just going backwards through the same caves. Actually, to dequip that magic rod on Juswa, because we're not going to be using any magic for quite a while. Now that we're wearing the Crown of the Wayfarer, I want to just show off its first ability. We have Runaway. Pretty self-explanatory. You attempt to run from the battle, I mean, but it doesn't always work, so don't count on it too much. Pretty standard stuff when it comes to running from battle. I just want to use that again. I'll boost everyone else's AP back up. Alright, well, it doesn't look like that's going to be working, so let's just finish these guys. Antidote. That's actually going to be helpful for later on. Make sure that Unita has that. Back in the Minotaur's room, we could talk to everyone again. Okay, so the person who wears the crowns gains access to the crown's special abilities, right? I get it. To use abilities, you have to open up the menu and set them up in the abilities menu. Lady Aerie, have you done the Crown of the Wayfarer yet? I urge you to do so. I'm not going to do that. Don't want to have it on everyone. See those slots in the crown? You can insert gems into them to enhance the crown's powers. I already showed that, but again, I don't really recommend upgrading the Wayfarer too much. It's just your basic first job, not really anything special, so not a good idea to invest in it too heavily. Just another 3 goblins, nothing special here. I think that's a new gem, the Topaz, right there. Get 2 level ups from that. And time to go back and tell the king what happened. That's eerie music. There's no response. It's like trying to talk to a statue. Could this have something to do with the witch's contract? There's no response. It's like trying to talk to a statue. Even Brant's mother is petrified. Core in trouble. The parrot's not petrified, though. I wonder why the parrot's still the same. We go around and check in every house. Everyone's been turned to stone. Including the animals, which is a bit strange since the parrot's not petrified, as I mentioned. What's going on here? I thought we defeated the witch. Is this happening because we fought the witch? Seems pretty likely. Everyone has turned to stone. What about my father and my sister? Guess we should check the castle. One guy who's not petrified, but before I want to talk to these guys. Ares' sister and that minister are they're petrified just like everyone else. Now let's talk to the only person who isn't petrified around here. Hello, where did you come from? I'm head of the Baneful Magic Investigation Unit out of Liberté. I'm sorry to report that Horn has been stricken by an evil curse. For your own protection, we can take you back with us to Liberté. You would be much safer there. Of course we can't just abandon the hometown. We can't just run away and leave the town like this. What are you gonna do about it? Face it, Horn's done for. I'm going to Liberté. Nice attitude there. What about the people here? We have to help them. We don't have to do anything, but you're welcome to do what you like. I hate to impose, but would you please take Lady Aerie with you to Liberté? I must stay in Horn too. I can't help but thinking I'm partially to blame for this. Jusqua and Aerie leave the party. Alright, so Jusqua is flat out given up, and Aerie is going with him, because it's too dangerous for her here and all that. It's much too dangerous here in Horn. Who knows what'll happen next? You must leave, and soon. Good luck, kid. I don't expect we'll be seeing each other again. Unita, will I see you again? I guess they missed that whole thing about how the four of us are like the only people who can save the world because the guy who's supposed to save the world can't or whatever. I guess that's not too important to them. King Horn should know what's going on, but I have no idea where he is. He wasn't in his throne up there, was he? Did the king really enter into the contract of the witch? It's all very mysterious. Horn must have been up to something shady. Still can't get that chest, of course. We can just find one member of the Horn royal family. Check upstairs. Well, there's nothing left to do here. Everyone's been turned to stone, so time to head out. Told where to head out to yet. If the petrification is the work of sorcery, you might find a cure in Gera, the magic kingdom of the Eastern Desert. Well, looks like we know where we're going now. Now that we've met that one guy, all the shops have been reopened. deposit anything we don't need here. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. Keep all the Phoenix Downs. And get rid of Brand's default clothes, because we don't really need them. I prefer not to sell the one-of-a-kind items in this game, because everything's cosmetic. People called the Moonfolk used to live in the desert. They're long gone now, or so I hear. And now multiplayer is open again. Not that we can do it, of course. This is an emulator. Sorry about that. This is an emulator, and I've never met anyone who's ever played this game, so unfortunately, multiplayer is kinda off the table. Wish I didn't have to use an emulator for this. I do own a physical copy of this game, of course. I don't emulate games that I don't have copies of. But DS capture cards are very expensive, just like any other one, so unemployed university students can't really afford them. I have to save Horn. And what does Brant have to say? Don't be so blue, you'll be fine as long as you got me by your side. Save one more time. Before we head out, I think there's one more guy that has something interesting to say. Folks say that a ghost sometimes appears in the Eastern Desert at night. Of course, I don't believe them. Sounds unusual. Item shop's open again. I actually want to buy an antidote real quick. As you notice, I don't know if I pointed this out before, but the 100 gil we got from the Chancellor is still all of the money we have left. Still all the money we have left? That doesn't make any sense. It's the only money we have. You don't get money normally from fighting battles in this game. You have to sell things to get it. I heard that the magical kingdom of Gera was cursed and buried in the sands of the desert. That might make getting there a little bit difficult. Anyway, nothing else to do here, so time to head off to the Eastern Desert. Fortunately, even though the encounters changed when we got more than one party member, they're now back. They're still just the same as it was when we had all four, so we're gonna have a lot more enemies to deal with. So having only Brant and Unita again makes things take a little bit longer. Makes you wish a certain edgelord didn't ditch us. How much time? Yep, should be good to keep on moving for now. Here's the Eastern Desert. Could have headed this way earlier, but the enemies around here are a lot stronger. Heck, maybe the sandstorm would have stopped you. I don't even remember. Anyway, this is our goal now, so we head this way, even if we didn't before. We finally got the wind foil. That's a really common drop from those lizard men guys. I actually want to equip that right now. No, that's not the wind foil. Because even though a lot of the enemies in the Witch's Mansion were immune to wind, or resisted it at the very least, a lot of enemies in the desert are weak to it. Is this that ghost we were hearing about? Welcome, strangers. I don't often meet people in these parts. My name is Kiranj, and I am one of the last of the Moonfolk. I see. You seek the magic kingdom of Gera in hopes of lifting the curse that has stricken Horn. Then you must go to the Moonlight Tower and collect the moon shards. The tower stands in the northwest of the desert. Come, I shall guide you there. Looks like he wasn't a ghost at all, just kinda some guy living out in the desert. I don't really know what triggers him appearing. I've had him appear after battles or just from walking around normally. Basically, you just have to wander around until you find him. We'll get in his abilities a little bit later. He doesn't have enough AP to use them anyway. These basilisks here can inflict poison, which is why I bought those antidotes, of course. Poison never goes away in this game unless you cure it, so make sure when there's poison inflicting enemies around, you have some antidotes. His first ability here is Magic Sword, allows him to enhance his sword with the element of any spell he has equipped, so we can go Magic Sword, Arrow. And now his sword is wind elemented. Got 2 new gems right there, emeralds. Now that we have a chance, let's take a look at Kiringe's equipment. Kiringe, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's a pretty unusual name. Anyway, he's got the wooden shield. He's got Kiringe's sword with a 4 regular attack and 2 magic attack, and Kiringe's robe, which is a really good piece of defensive armor that we haven't seen yet. Defense +3, magic defense +4. And the arrow tome. Of course, Kiringe is not one of the 4 heroes of light that we named at the beginning, so he can't use crowns, or rather he can't change them. He has one on right now, but since we haven't seen that yet, I'm not going to get into it. And this is clearly the Moonlight Tower we heard about before, so time to head on in. Same enemies in here as there are outside. Actually, now that we've made it to the Moonlight Tower and met Kiringe, I think I'm going to stop this episode right here, and I'll see you all back here next time, where we'll finish off the Moonlight Tower, get those moon shards, and hopefully reach the Kingdom of Gera.